Hello and welcome. My name is Danielle, and today I have a very special guest with us. She's a contributing writer in the upcoming book with Rada Publishing House, Stories of the Goddess Divine Frequency Keepers. I just want to welcome you, Amanda. It's such a pleasure having you. And like always, you're such a ray of sunshine. You look amazing today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for carving out some time in your day to have me. And because I'm pretty, it can be hard to track me down sometimes.
It's all good. And that's what I love about what we do. We're here to support each other and help each other rise and get up there where we belong to shine, and be seen. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. So I just want to quickly introduce you to everyone. She is Amanda Waterman. Okay, we're on a goofy laughter today. I love it. Sorry, guys. I'm minding my mouth or not. With that being said, I do want to let you know what we're up to today. So, the upcoming release of Stories of the Goddess Divine Frequency Keepers is a special book. With Rada Publishing House, we are here to help women worldwide that are on a quest to rediscover their inner magic. There's been so many years of suppression and subjugation, as we all know, and our mothers and our grandmothers were forced to really hide these gifts, and it became more of a survive in this patriarchal society. But now's the time that we're breaking free and we are releasing and claiming our rightful place as these beautiful, powerful women of the divine feminine here on earth. So, with that being said, as the divine frequency keepers, we are here to uphold our honor to our family and all our tribes. And we are here to share our vision, our wisdom, and leadership to step into that energy space and create a better world for with love and integrity. So, with that being said, welcome, Amanda. It's such a pleasure to have you here, and a voice and frequency in this book that we're going to be sharing with the world globally.
Yeah, such a fun project. Such a fun project. When Rada first reached out to me to be a part of this project, I was like, oh no, I can't. That was like my first thing. I was like, it's not a good time, not in my life right now. And then I just, oh, thank you so much for thinking of me, but I just can't right now. And she's like, wait a minute, like you look like the cover of the book. That's you. So you need to be in this book. And I was just like, oh, and I kept muscle testing. Am I supposed to be in this book? And I kept getting a yes, but I'm like, but not right now. Like, it's just too much going on. I felt like I was going through like the biggest transition of my life. And I honestly didn't feel worthy enough to be in the book. I was like, there's nothing I can contribute right now. Like, I can't even contribute to myself. How can I contribute to anybody else? How can I be the goddess for anybody else when I can't even be that for myself?
Right.
And that was the space I was in when she first reached out. And that kind of lasted. It was a little bit of a season for me during that time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like the third or fourth time she reached out to me, it was like, okay, like, can we just have a phone call? I'm like, sure. So I said, let me just tell you why I can't do it. Right. And so then she's like, okay. So I tell her all this stuff. So I said, so I just don't even know what I would talk about. And she goes, just everything you just said. Wait, what? Like everything I just said? She goes, you are the goddess, and look at you persevering through all these hardship and all these things that you're going through in your personal life. That's what the world needs to hear from you.
Right. First of all, I just want to thank you for leading in with that, because you kind of answered my first question and dive further into the second half of that question. And I want to take a minute to honor you and the women that are in that place and have, I guess you would say, transformed to the other side, and those who maybe are currently going through something similar or just relatable. And that's what I find so beautiful about this book. And the more I get to know each of the women that have written their chapter, I am coming to realize, as a perspective from someone who's interviewing you all, is that there's a common theme, and what that is life is happening in real time. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to, believe maybe some things you're still working through, whether it's worthiness issues or you're not ready to be seen. We're here to support you. And that's the whole point of this book. And it's beautiful. And it's going to help a lot of women step into that embodiment and empowerment And then the more you understand what the goddess archetype is about for someone specifically, you'll learn. And then, of course, you'll dive down your own rabbit hole to understand and learn. So I just want to take a minute to honor you and say how much I feel so proud of, because I was there too through the process, and I'm like, you have to, share a message. It's pretty thick, guys. It's a very powerful one, and so I really hope you take the time to read it next chapter. So with that being said, congratulations, and just thank you for showing up as a leader, and for you, for your family and friends, and then everyone who will read this. So how did you choose the specific goddess when you start to write about your chapter? Because your chapter is very unique, and it's not for the faint of heart.
No. So interesting enough, I talked with you and Rada several times, and I was like, I just don't know what goddess to pick. I don't know which one I'm embellishing and embodying. And I was just having such a hard time with that. And I started doing some energy healing sessions, not for my clients, but for myself, because I was like, I need some help. And it was through a session that that it was shown to me. And so literally in this session, the practitioner had God and Jesus come to my door, and she had me open the door, and she said, if, invite them in, would you invite them in? I'm like, of course, like, come on in, here's my living room. She said, if you can ask them any question, like, what would it be? Here's your chance. And I said, okay, God, just tell me straight. Like, what is my chapter supposed to be about? What am I going to write? What can I bring to other mothers? What kind of hope and inspiration can I give to them? Like, what does that look like? And I said, I don't even know where to start. And God said, well, that's because you haven't been shown that. That's going to be channeled. Your story, your chapter is going to be channeled for you. I thought, well, yeah, that makes totally sense, right? Because I already had that feeling that it would be channeled, because we do that anyway, when we're typing something up, we're like, okay, give me divine wisdom, right? And we're like, do. And then we go back later and we read it, and we're just like, wow, like that came out of my brain. No, it was divinely channeled. It was stuff that somebody needed to hear. And so when I got that message, I thought, oh, finally. It took so much pressure off of me. I didn't even have to think about it. All I had to do is literally just sit down, invite the energy in. And I think I had another call with Radha during the time, and she's like, oh, that's beautiful. You're going to have the goddess Shakti. She's the goddess, the divine aspect of, our creator. And I thought, oh, that's wonderful. There's a name, there's, something I can, introduce. And so when I started typing, I sat down and I just invited Shakti, the divine aspect of our creator, and Lady Faith, who I am as a being. And I wanted to have a conversation with my higher self and with Shakti. And that's how it came, the whole chapter came through that. It's a little shorter chapter, but I wanted it short and sweet and to the point. I didn't want to put any of my own thoughts into it, because this chapter was also for me an answer to what I was searching for as well. And so once I got it done, I always muscle test to make sure, okay, is everything perfect? Do I need to add anything? And then as soon as I get like, nope, don't add anything. In fact, take that sentence out. So it's like, okay, take that sentence out. And then I was like, all right, I never second guess myself. I just I save it and I send it right away, because I don't ever want to think, oh my gosh, it's not ready. I got to change all this stuff, because I knew that was the actual message that was made for everybody. And I didn't want to alter it at all.
Wow, I didn't know that. Thank you for saying and sharing that part. And I won't go off on me, but like I relate to what you're saying. So that brings so much joy to me personally. And see, guys, it's even happening for us, like I said, in real time, because I relate to that. And that's kind of how I, share it as well. So, what are your thoughts on the role of the divine feminine creating a better world? Like, how are you seeing this divine frequency keeper book helping others?
I think individually, we all have a divine purpose here on earth. And it's within that that we're encouraged to keep moving forward. And as we do that for ourselves and we heal ourselves, we are the way showers, the light bearers, and we are showing the way for others to follow us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times that we're searching for something that isn't there
Mm. Mhm.
because it's us that needs to bring the information out.
Huh. Yes. That's such a powerful message. I might have to re-listen to that. What do you hope readers will take away from your chapter in the stories of the goddess?
Yeah, I just hope that maybe other mothers that are going through the same situation I'm going through can find some peace, can find some sorts of it's so hard to put into words, but I want to say some peace and
Mm.
maybe some answers to the questions that they have. My whole chapter is about people struggling in addiction, specifically fentanyl. Um, and it is rampant throughout, I'm
Yeah.
assuming, the world, but really in the United States. I mean, we see it on every corner, we see it everywhere. And I was talking to my divine counterparts, and I said, why are so many people like, you didn't see this a couple of years ago, but now it's just so much in our face? And why is this happening? And he said, if in order to have something, we see the negative aspect of this and the destruction that it's bringing, but with that, there has to be a positive. So what's the positive? And that was the question I came in with, like, what is the positive to
Right.
this? Because there has to be the duality and the polarity of the two, the yin and the yang, the negative and the positive. So we only focus on the negative, but I always like to focus on the positive. I hate focusing on the negative because I don't want to give attention to that. I just want to give attention to the positive. And then that's how we can kind of change things.
Yeah. Beautiful. Wow. I cannot wait to read your chapter. What specific importance around sisterhood do you think is so crucial at this moment in time for our communities and just simply working with, a goddess archetype and going on that journey?
Yeah, I feel like for me, personally in my own life, it's been really tough finding the people that I need in my life because of the journey that I'm on right now.
Mm.
And I've even like reached out to different therapists and counselors. Like, I just need someone to say, you're not crazy, like, and just support me. And, but I feel like I don't know if that person is out there. It's just like, so I think it's more of an inner work,
Mhm.
being more going inward and being more with our creator and just getting the answers that way, because
Mhm.
I feel like when we're searching outside of ourselves, it's not always there. But
Mhm.
for people who get it and you find your tribe, and because I have different tribes in different things, it's
Yeah.
just this one area that I'm a little struggling in because it's not talked about. There's so much stigma against it, and you don't talk about your children being in addiction. You don't talk about the negative effects it has on the family. You just pretend like it doesn't exist. So it's really hard and challenging. Um, but when you find your tribe and you're vibrating at a certain vibration and a certain frequency, and people just get you, you're like, oh, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, I agree. Aw. Well, I hope that you always remain in alignment with that tribe and what is needed for you at every moment in the now. So
Thank you.
I trust that you will and that we all are. So, well, how do you feel about your overall experience with Rada Publishing House and how was that for you during the process of working with them?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I know a lot of times it's an inner personal journey with writing, and I know Rada's done a fabulous job with this project, keeping us together, holding specialized classes. I even provided a class for the different authors, and focusing on like titles and how much that was a vibrational match to what the title wanted to be called, because
Yeah,
um, we don't think about those kind of things.
right.
I had to change my title. I just had a title on there, just be like, all right, we'll just put the title. Um, because I needed something to save it as. But my title wanted to be called something different. And
Yeah.
so sometimes it comes from outside of ourselves. Um, so I feel like my title was like a divine title. So something to catch the attention of the people that really needed to read that chapter.
Wonderful. I know you're going to help a lot of people with this. So thank you for sharing your vulnerability and truth, which is very important. Sometimes, hiding does nobody service,
Yeah.
ourselves and those that are meant to, be on our path and assist. So that's why community is important too, in my opinion. But how has your overall experience with Rada Publishing been? Because this is actually, I believe, your like second or third book with them. So
Second, yeah, second.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel like you've had a really good taste. Could you share with us what it's like working with Rada Publishing House and like how do you feel overall about the whole journey?
Well, it's different for everybody, and I think every book has its own energy. I feel like
Mhm.
my last experience was good. I had no complaints about it at all. But this one, I felt like it had a lot more goddess energy, a lot
Mhm.
more people rising up, wanting to be there for you, and really support you along the way. So, like I said before, I'm so busy in my life that it's really hard to kind of pin me down. So I'm like, oh yeah, I have okay, yeah, right now. I'm very spontaneous that way.
Aw.
And so it's been good because you guys, the whole team has done an excellent job of keeping me on track, holding me accountable by having things turned in on certain dates and all of that, and is very very helpful for me being so busy. So I appreciate all the little reminders and then the Facebook group too, where you just put out a message and everybody can get to it right away, or they see it when it's convenient for them, or they're checking messages or the groups or whatever. That was very helpful.
Yeah, it actually is very supportive. I mean, I definitely can piggyback on what you're saying. There's a lot of this was a different program, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of the women are already leaders in their own right in their businesses and in their lives. So I know sometimes it's hard to view yourself like, oh, how am I the leader? But we
Yeah.
usually are. I can attest for Amanda for sure. Can you share any upcoming projects or anything you might be working on that's coming up and that's fresh and new?
Oh gosh. I'm always working on new projects, always. There's so my long-term goal and target is to open up a holistic healing center in Costa Rica. So that was shown to me by my guide back in September 2021 when I visited Costa Rica. And that was shown to me through an ayahuasca experience. And I was like, okay. And I always keep my muscle testing. Are you sure Costa Rica? I keep saying yes. So I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm working towards that goal every day. I have classes that are coming up for Access Consciousness. I'm an Access Consciousness facilitator practitioner. So I'm teaching in Minnesota. I think it's like the weekend of the 20th. I plan on going to Arizona in October. I think it's like the week of I don't know, around the 20th, around that time too. Um, and I also have classes where I live near Seattle, Washington. And there's a couple other things. We always have like our financial fitness courses that we provide, our financial fitness for teens that I'm a part of. I do have weekly roundtables. They're like a mastermind times 10. And I have those every week on Sundays. And I'm, always, looking for new energies that come in and be supported with we really help the entrepreneur and the small business owners. But I do a little hybrid roundtable where we focus on goals, but then I also release what's stopping you from getting to that goal. And we may pull like a little oracle card, whatever I ask. Every roundtable that I do on Sundays is very divinely guided. So you're never going to get the same roundtable. Each week is going to be extremely different because the energy is different. So I always ask, okay, what does the team or what does our participants need to have for this week? And it's just divinely shown to me.
That's beautiful. Well, I'll be sure to link all the information down below because I'm sure whoever reads your chapter may want to link with you, connect with you. And so Amanda does have a lot of platforms that she's a part of, as you heard. So we'll be sure to link all of that down below, including Rada Publishing House. And be sure to get your book. I believe the pre sale is coming on the 23rd of March, and we have our Kindle and then the book version. So we'll be sure to link all the information down below. And once again, everybody, thank you for being here with us during the special sacred release of our book launch. So, as
Yes.
well, Amanda, it's always nice and such a pleasure to connect with you. And thank you once again.
Thank you, Danielle.
Bye for now.